Yo, what's up? This the Edge, another episode of Create Life Podcast. And as always, we always want to bring things or people that can motivate, inspire, uplift, and also get some insight that they've gained from their journey. Today I got one of Florida's finest when it comes to that boxing thing. We got my boy Berto.
Yes,
so, this is Berto. He's a Florida representative and a representative because he been holding down the state in the boxing world for a long time. And on this podcast, our focus is based on these 5 pillars: mindset, self-mastery, financial freedom, community network, and also lifestyle leisure. And you're one of the guys that fits that mold because to become one of the greatest boxers, it takes a certain mindset. And along that journey, when you have success, I like to talk about that financial freedom because that's one thing that we always achieve, or we always try to achieve, and we try to get into that space so that we can, motivate others to actually do the same.
Yes, sir, man. Yeah. Appreciate you for having me, my boy.
Nah, man, we got to have you come on here, man. And for me, it's like when I look at Berto, man, what, 5'7", 5 what?
Yeah, 5'8".
5'8", 5'7", 5'8", and then like I play ball, but like I can't see myself getting in that ring.
Man, we got to, man. I mean, shit, I've been at it. Been at it for a long time, bro. I've been at it. I had my first fight when I was, I think, about 6 years old.
6 years old fight?
6 years old, yeah. But the whole family, I'm saying the thing was like my whole family was fighting.
Okay, so you was brought into the fight world.
Brought into the
from
fight.
birth.
Brought into the fight game. My pops, he was big into martial arts, and he fought in like UFC 3.
Hey.
Now I think about it, like I say, so our family got a good relationship with Dana White, man. Good dude.
Dana White was doing it that long?
Yeah, man. They fought in the so, him, my other brothers, like I said, they was in mixed martial arts as well. My other brother was state national wrestling champion. My 2 sisters, they national judo champion. And me, I got into boxing. So
about don't mess with the Bertos. If you grew up
man.
in Winter Haven, Florida, and you don't mess with the Bertos, they known to fight.
Yeah, man. Everybody knew what time it was back home.
Oh, so
man. Everybody knew what time it was.
It was a fighting family.
Yes, sir.
And so for you, like, okay, you started at 6 years old. So
yeah.
Was it a thing that you was destined to do, or was it something that you was like, man, I want to be? Did you get a chance to choose your career path, or it was like already kind of laid out?
It was kind of already laid out to a sense. I mean, like I said, everybody in the household, they were fighting. My pops, he was in mixed martial arts, and he spent a lot of time over in like Japan before the UFC actually came here to the States. So I used to see him all the time, train all the time to get ready for his fights. So if you're fighting in the mixed martial arts space, you have to train in a few different disciplines. You got to do, karate. You got to grapple. You got to do boxing. You got to do a lot of different things. So, me, I was a badass kid growing up. You know what I'm saying? Growing up with 2 Haitian immigrant parents. You know what I'm saying? Like growing up, kids that pick on you and they go to talking to shit. So I had to.
So you had to represent.
Yeah, I had to clear some shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like growing up, I used to have to scrap all the time. So.
Well, you had to scrap because you Haitian came over too, or you Haitian and they said
I just had that type of I was just like my pops. I was just like my dad. My dad was just he was everybody used to call him boss. You know what I mean? Like when he came over, from Haiti, it was a big crew of them that came, like, a few hundred, and he was like the leader of this crew.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? The way he walked, the way he talked, he just demanded respect.
Okay.
And just me just growing up, just seeing that, he was big, he was real muscular, and that was my example of a man.
So when by him coming over from Haiti, and he was like, I'm coming to America, I got to show that, hey,
yeah, but
I
he
ain't
had
no pushover.
I'm saying like he had that even in Haiti. Like my granddad too. Like he real legendary back in Haiti for for machete fighting. You know what I'm
Machete
saying?
fight.
Yeah, he used
The
to
real.
fight. He used to fight motherfuckers with
Oh.
machete. Like if you see him now, I mean, like before he passed, he got, old scars that just machete, like slices on him. I used to listen to old stories. I used to fight like 4 or 5 guys at one time. You know what I'm saying? Like licking his blood on his arm and
Oh
fighting. I
yeah.
mean, he was one of them crazy
I
guys
think
back
that's
in the
kind of
day.
intimidating right there. You see a person
Yeah.
get slit up and he just
Yeah.
go ahead and lick the blood.
Yeah, man. So I grew up with that.
No,
You
so
know what I'm
that
saying? I grew up with that. So, my pops had that mentality. And just me just watching him, I wanted just to follow suit right behind him. So, so I didn't really play any type of, I didn't play for no foolishness growing up.
or you
You know
didn't nobody. So it's just always you versus
Yeah,
everybody.
Exactly. It was just always I didn't mess no disrespect. Like even as a kid, 6, 7 years old, middle school, I'm getting kicked out of school for fighting. You know what I'm saying? Middle school, getting kicked out of school for fighting.
But man, by me knowing you and being around you,
Yeah.
you real chill, real like
Yeah.
nobody would even look at you and say, man, like this dude right here. He
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it took a lot of work, bro. It took
yeah,
a
so
lot
like
of
when
work.
the light turns on, or it's got to be
Yeah.
where somebody push your button. Because
I
I
mean,
can't see you as being like just
oh
a
no,
bad
I
person,
was
just
like, yeah, I've been
I'm
like
just
that.
causing trouble.
No, I don't think I was causing too much trouble, but anybody that I always feel like I had to make example out of people for some reason.
So and
You know what I'm saying?
when was your first unofficial fight? Okay, you say you
Unofficial-
started at
like,
6
I
years old. When you
fought-
went to school,
That's what I'm
How
saying. Like, listen, y'all, I'm not crazy like that now, but like every year, I still remember now. Every year from elementary school to probably like 7th grade in middle school, I was suspended from school every year on my birthday
for fighting,
for fighting.
why around your birthday? That's when
I
you,
don't know. I don't know
Is
why
it-
I just sat that way. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know. But of course over the years, man, all that shit just changed up and I think boxing had a big part in that too. Being able to have a place to like kind of like hone their energy. And
Right.
once you get into a place like that, when I'm in the gym and I kind of have like a fraternity of brothers, we in here really working on a craft. You don't want to be out there just
fighting for
just
nothing.
yeah,
for
I mean,
no
just
reason.
fighting for no reason, just acting stupid, this and that. You kind of, you get this type of respect for the game. You get this type of respect for yourself that you're different.
Oh, so
You understand?
At what
So-
point? At what point in time did you say, "Hey, you know what? I know you say you kind of inherit the situation, but when
Yeah.
did you decide to say, "I'm gonna take this thing serious and I'm gonna become a professional boxer"?
I mean, I kind of seen I had that real talent at a young age because, like I said, I think a lot of the discipline. I think a lot of the discipline our pops, put me through, kind of built me and got me ready for it. Like, say, if I got in trouble, and this is 6, 7 years old, if I got in trouble in like in school, it was 500 push-ups, 500 squats before we went to school. Like, he woke us up extra early, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Damn.
You doing the 500 push-ups, 500 squats before you go to school. So, and everybody knew it because everybody knew him, in town because he had such a big aura about himself. And if I came to school sore, they can see me walking, funny.
Yeah.
They know what time it was. They go to mess
That
with
mean
me.
you hadn't got in trouble.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So everything kind of prepared me for it. So I was always a little bit stronger than a lot of the other
Yeah.
kids growing up. I was a little bit more aggressive. I was a little bit, on the field days and, all like the physical fitness, little contests in school. That shit was like playtime for me. I'm
Oh,
doing
yeah,
damn
already.
50 push-ups. I'm doing 50
You're already
pull-ups.
doing the
I'm
grown
like,
man stuff
you know
already.
what I'm saying? So I think, at a young age, a lot of that discipline, kind of started preparing me for the fight games. Once I got into the boxing, of course, it was a little different for me. My first time going, they threw me in the ring with some fat kid. I think
And
I was
this
like,
is at 6 years old.
yeah, I was like 6, 7. They threw me in there, and I'm like, oh, I'm about to smash this boy. Like, I really fight. And I got in there, and I'm strong, I'm faster, but for some reason, You know what I'm saying? And he was just dodging everything and catching me. Bam, 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 dodging everything and catching me. He had a different type of finesse. He had a different type of, he was moving his feet a certain type of way, and he knew how to move his head. He knew how to time shit. You know what I mean? I got tired like in the first 30, 45 seconds, and he really knew how to, try to, really try to, I manage the situation.
Right.
And, I come out the ring, I'm crying, my nose bleeding. And from that day on, I'm like, I gotta figure this out. Like
So
I gotta.
that was the day of the wake up call.
Oh yeah, I'm like, I gotta figure out what he did to me, and for some reason why I couldn't figure this out. It had to be a reason why he had this type of skill to him that I didn't have, and I need to figure this shit out.
So
You know what I'm saying?
now, when you, the son of a boxer,
Yeah.
what was the look on your father's face watching?
Oh
his
yeah.
son?
I mean, like I said, he was big on discipline. So, I mean, he seen me go through that, and he asked me what I learned from it, and asked me what I want to do. I'm like, shit, I want to go back tomorrow because I already knew what I already knew how he felt towards the situation. And out of all the kids that he had, I think that he knew that he can push me to another level because I was real stubborn. You know what I'm saying? I was real hard headed and stubborn, you know what I mean? And I always wanted to prove something to him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? At every chance that I had. Because I seen him, I low key, we had a funny relationship because he was such an intimidating person, intimidating guy of course, to the family and to everybody else, and he got so much respect. I looked up to him, but at the same time, I felt like I was in competition with him too.
So you're gonna be the next one.
Yeah. I felt like I was
show
gonna be
you.
the next one up, but I felt like he felt that, and he always made things hard for me because he knew I was gonna push myself to try to prove him wrong.
Yeah, I think that's naturally from fathers. Say a lot of males, they always want their son to be the next coming.
Yeah.
Or you like live your life through your children.
Yeah.
And he probably chose you because you come from a boxing family. You got your sisters. They do martial arts.
Yeah, they was doing the judo. I had my other brothers. They was doing the martial arts and wrestling. But for him, man, I think, and like I say, it was just different. It was different when it comes to, like I said, like me and his, relationship, to a point that he never really complimented me on nothing.
Right. Intentional
Because he knew that was his way of just pushing me to a sense because, I always try to prove something. So that's how, to be honest, that's what motivated me all through my amateur career.
I don't think that a lot of the kids realize that until later. Like you didn't realize it in the midst of that.
Yeah.
Because, like I'm a father. Like I'm barely going to tell my son, hey, you did a great job. I'm like, oh, what's next? You always think about what's next.
Yeah.
And it's like a tactic you use, but it's for the betterment of the future because you seeing things that they probably would never even envision because you start patting them on the back. I think that's what mothers do. They pat them on the back early.
Man.
And you kind of soften. I'm like, hey, you did good, but hey, we got more to go.
Facts. And that's what it was, man. That's how it was growing up with me, man. And it just continued just to push me each and every time I go win a national tournament. I come back with my trophies. He like, all right, cool. All right, meet me outside at 5 o'clock in the morning. We back to it.
Back in the gym.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, man. Shit.
Now that's kind of consistent when you look at a lot of people that's made it, and a lot of people don't understand how you become pro in your field.
Yeah.
But it's the little things like that, and certain people that actually push you and motivate you. A lot of people don't have fathers.
Yeah.
And when I think back to the Mike Tysons of the world, they had to find it in somewhere else, so they still found it a different way. But all those things run parallel.
Yeah.
But they all get to the end result.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, you see a lot of people, they find motivation in different things, right? Like, a lot of people, especially a lot of athletes, and you say Mike Tyson, some people, they find your motivation in the pain that they're going through. You know what I'm saying? I seen our situation growing up. I knew where we came from, and I knew, me getting up every morning, seeing my mom, my dad, waking up 5 o'clock in the morning, trying to get to it, and they got 5 kids in the house, and I'm, so the only thing that was going through my mind, like, I want to be like my pops, but I want to I need to try to help them any way possible. I don't know about my other siblings, but I feel like I'm strong enough to figure this shit out and be next up to change our situation. You understand what I'm saying? So I think pain is either going to turn you into, a hero, or it's going to turn you into a villain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Either way.
But and everybody can't relate to this.
Yeah.
And when you see situations like that, like I can relate because that was, my story. You know, everybody's story kind of run parallel when you see, okay, I got a purpose I'm trying to dig this family out of the hole. But now that you have children, and how do you kick that down to, how do you get that hunger out of your children when they don't have that true purpose?
Yeah. I mean, with my kids, of course my kids still young, but I've always, growing up, I've always felt like, okay, if I had kids, I loved, and now I appreciate, how my dad raised me,
right?
Because I am who I am now. But of course, I think I changed some things because I didn't hear, I didn't get all the hugs, I didn't get the I love yous, I didn't get the pat on the backs on a regular basis. It was just, pound, you just got to go, you just got to keep going. Right. I always had to hear. The funny thing about it is, I'll come back from a national tournament 15. I made the U.S. team when I was 15, and I'll just run into like random people. And they be like, oh, man, damn, I seen your dad, man. Shit, he couldn't stop talking about you, man. He's so proud of you. Right. I'm like, say, my daddy? He said, yeah, man. But when he show up at the house, he got a mean mug on. It's time to go. So I think, I always said, once I had my kids, I was going to show them a little bit more love and show them a little bit more, appreciation when it comes down to it. But I'm going to still keep that heavy discipline on them like my dad did me. You know what I'm saying?
That's where it gets a little tricky.
That's where it gets tricky. It gets tricky because you don't know how to gauge it.
But then in your father's defense, it's like, that's all he know.
That's all that he knows.
So we don't know nothing else.
Yeah.
But man, we got to grind. We never seen anything like that. And then we never seen anybody that's like us.
Definitely.
And so it's hard. Like for me, as I'm 45 now.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little older, getting a little softer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the 20-something-year-old Edge, which is totally different. You know, from the 40-something. So you look at it and you appreciate it, but at the same time, it's like if you lighten up, man, the end results, if they don't turn out to be what you know they could have been,
facts.
Will you live with regret?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I see it now. It's crazy. It's like when I see my younger brother, right? And my younger brother, he came years after. I don't even know where he came from. But he ended up coming, years after. He's 21 now. And everybody else, all the kids, like I said, we grown, we out the house. He's 21, but he was raised by a different set of parents than what we was raised with.
Different mindset.
Yeah, exactly. So we was raised with the intense father, intense mother, you know what I'm saying? Me getting a job, at 13, helping them pay the bills and da-da-da-da-da. By the time he came along, you know what I'm saying, I already had success.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the money was already there. And my parents, they was a little older, so they was a lot softer, and they didn't really, they didn't really put that pressure on him at all like they did us. And so he's a lot different than us mentality-wise than how we are now. And the crazy thing about it, he's bigger than all of us. He's 6'5", 250, 260. And I mess with him all the time. I'm like, damn, man, if he had our mentality with that size, he'll be a killer. But it's I
you
mean,
can relate.
just show you.
It's like, and man, I talk about that all the time with my family.
Yeah.
I have a younger brother, and my mom, I always say she got softer with my younger brother. And you start looking at it and you start saying, man, is this why the outcome is the way it is for my brother? He's incarcerated right now. But at the same time, it's like, as a parent, how do you How do you make that adjustment to keep that balance?
It's hard, man. It's hard because we didn't grow up with nothing. You understand? So once you have it, you know what I mean, you want to give your kids everything. You want to give the ones that come, behind you everything. So it's a tough balance to try to have because it's hard to have, like I say, these hard type of conversations, with your kids when they sleeping on nice sheets and they seeing all the foreign cars in the damn driveway, and they know mama and daddy got money and they live in this big ass house. Yeah, I mean, that was not reality growing up. You know what I'm saying? I grew up, I'm seeing the roaches in the kitchen. I'm eating the ramen noodles. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking to school. So it's a different type of reality. And like I said, I think it's just hard to balance. The only way to balance it, I believe, what I'm going to try to do is I think the best thing is just try to talk to your kids as much as possible. Don't let them get lost in that reality of success. That's my success.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This shit was mine.
That's what I did.
I worked my ass off for. You see all the belts. You see all the pictures. You're going to have to work for yours, and you need to really stand on that. Like my kids now, like they already know what time it is. When it comes to their mom, they run. I'm talking about they running over their mom all day long. But I'm still holding on conduct with them. Heavy.
Yeah, like
heavy.
I was told sometimes giving is actually taken away.
Facts.
And I see it. So it's a challenge. It's a struggle.
Facts.
And even with family members and your association of different people, they're gonna you're too hard on them. It's like when my son that plays basketball now, he's having a little success, and it was always, you're too hard on him. You're too hard on him.
Like that.
But then now I fast forward, so he's in college.
Yeah.
He's having success.
Yeah.
And the ones who were saying that you're too hard on him,
yeah,
I don't see much success from there.
Mm.
And then it goes back to, man, are you too hard on them? Are you listening to these outside voices and trying to find this balance where you say, okay, yeah, I can still be that father that, hey, I can come and have that, but it's hard for me. Like me, I'm in the learning stages right now because, man, I only know what I know.
Thanks.
I didn't have a me in my life.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like trying to find that balance. And sometimes, like, Dad, all you talk about is business. All you talk about is this. But I'm like, every day I look up, it's a bill. Every day I look up, it's a situation that I gotta fix.
That you gotta handle,
And that's where it's kind of confusing. It's like, it's like right now you're in the space to where, like, I'm always in the space where, like, man, do I just go and say, man, let the kid be, because then I'm going to take care of you for the rest of your life, or do I put my foot down and just walk away from certain things that I don't agree with?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, man, especially when it comes to boys, you have to prepare the boys for pain, because that's what they're going to get. You know what I mean? As men, you're going to have to deal with shit. Period. You're going to have to deal with shit. All this soft shit, all this soft talking and trying to coddle, like I say, the boys.
But how do you do that when, if you're being that way with them, and then they find this other group that's going to bring them in and kind of go against what you're saying, how do you even reach the kid when the kid going to run from you? That's the thing that I see happening day in and day out with. Like, I see a lot of parents that being friends with their children when they should be parenting.
Exactly.
But to each his own. You tell everybody do it the way they do it, but then you wonder why the end result.
Of course, like I say, if you're gonna be too friendly with your kids, man, I mean they get to a point that they really look at you just as the homie, and just as they partner. You know what I mean? They're going to treat you that in every aspect. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the respect going to be there like it needs to be. I feel like they're going to be able to, move around and step around however they want to a sense. You know what I mean? With you being a parent, man, it has to be a separation of respect. It has to be. It has to be, to a sense, because if not, if they don't respect you, they're going to find something or somebody else to, that they're going to like draw to respect, and it might be a bad influence.
Right.
You know
they don't have their best interest.
They ain't got their best interest.
But they go for it.
They finna go for it, especially if they feel like, if they feel like that person, you know what I'm saying, got something that they want, or just talking to them a certain type of way that they want. You know what I mean? If you can't be your kid's fucking hero, you know what I mean? They're going to find it somewhere else. At the end of the day, people silently, they want to be led in some type of way. If it's
I
women,
agree.
you know what I mean? If it's girls or boys, they want to be led in some type of way. So you have to figure that shit out, and you have to be that person's, and you have to be that kid's fucking leader. You know what I mean? You're going to feel sick. You're going to feel sick to your stomach if you see the nigga up the street with the fucking cutlass damn sitting on 30s. You know what I'm saying? That's you know what I mean? That's his inspiration.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to have them conversations. I know it's hard, though. I know it's hard, especially dealing with these kids in high school. They seeing all types of shit. You know what I mean? Having these different type of conversations. But at the end of the day, especially with you, like, especially with me, like, you know, we was them dudes, so there ain't nothing that you can tell me different, bro.
But it's,
You know what I'm saying?
man, it's a learning process.
Oh yeah,
it's a learning process for me personally, because, you know, it's like, man, I'm telling you factually and everything that I've seen and people who I know, and you still have to battle. It's like, and you would think that it would be so much smoother, but do you think it's a cultural thing, or is it just a universal thing?
I mean, it could be a cultural thing too, because you know, after a while, you know, these kids probably don't think that we as cool as we think we was back in the day either. So they gonna you know, things are different, man. You know, they got different you know, people in their ear, like their peers, you know, move differently. They got different music they out here listening to. You know, I mean, they got different shit that they like out here. Right. That might be a little different from us, and they may just think that we just so much out of touch. So that's why I feel that the line from being a parent and not just trying to be their homie is gonna, you know what I mean, that's the situation that really, you know what I mean, that's able to hold them to a sense, I believe. I think if you just really try to think you their homeboy, at the end of the day, they're gonna feel like you out of touch. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be able to, you know what I mean, kind of veer off a little bit. But if they know that you they parent, and listen, you know, I fuck with you, but nigga, I'm your daddy. You know what I'm saying? Don't play with me. You know what I'm saying?
The saga continues. You know,
oh yeah, it's gonna keep on going now. You gotta figure it out.
But you know, that's the quest to figure it out. You know, I think any parent, you know, you're out there trying to figure it out, trying to find that happy medium.
Man, you have to.
For me, it's a work in progress. For you, it sounds like it's gonna be a work in progress.
Yeah, man, I'm trying. I mean, you know, I'm trying to figure it out now. You know, right now I feel like I got a nice little hold on it, but I already know once, you know, teenage mode come in and high school and all that shit, it might be a whole complete different game.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
And then, not to mention, which we won't go into detail. What if there's a different in household, or you're not with the mom, so it's always gonna be a battle. That's the family.
That's gonna be a whole.
That's
big
a top.
situation.
That conversation to be ongoing. We can spend so much time
all
on
day.
that. But you know, one thing I was, you know, we're talking about boxing, and we got the first person that came on the Create Life podcast. That's an actual professional boxer, and actually great at, you know. We've been having these debates about the Mike Tyson. You know that was coming, man. Like I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Like right now, you're 40 years old.
Yeah, I'm 40. You know, that's crazy.
Mike Tyson is 57 years old.
Yeah.
It's like, at what point is it too much when it comes to boxing? And when you see that situation right there, is that going to be a real situation?
I mean, you know, I know both guys. I know Mike for a long time. I know Jake for a nice little minute. You know, Jake is a marketing genius. You know, with him trying to box, you know, I look at it, you know, from a different lens, because I know them, and I'm, you know, heavy in the entrepreneurial space, you know, now, and I understand, you know, marketing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to him, he's not taking the traditional route of trying to be a professional boxer, because all of us, we had to start, you know, in a certain type of way. Yeah. But with him, you know what I mean, it's a money play. He already, you know, I mean, because I've had these conversations with him. So, you know what I mean, like, it's a money play for him. And, you know, he is in a position, because he has so many followers and he is who he is, he can maximize by fighting a retired, you know what I mean, 2 or 3, you know, retired, you know, like these like this MMA guys with big names
Right.
that bring a crowd. So that right there is, if you understand pay per view, you understand, marketing. That's gonna create a bomb. So that's the
Right.
only thing he's doing. He's fighting Anderson Silva, that has a big name. He's retired. Put that together. The Nate Diaz is huge name in MMA, retired, but let's put it together. You know what I'm saying? So he just putting together these big fucking like circus shows, and he counting the money after, when it's all said and done.
I'm a big to like Mike Tyson is like
Of
that's our
course.
era,
Yeah.
And for us to see Tyson come out like, man,
Yeah, we didn't.
I can't see Tyson. I don't want to never see Tyson lose or
And
get
that's
put in
the
a
thing.
situation.
And that's the thing, man. I believe that's the crazy thing about it is because at the end of the day, Jake, he has been training. He got a good team with him. He's young. He's strong. And the fucked up thing about this, if it goes that way, that they need to understand. People need to understand. I don't care about these little highlights that he putting on the fucking internet of Mike, hitting the pads and shit. You know what I'm saying? Mike is 57 years old. You know what I'm saying? He's 57 years old, bro.
At what point do you like? Okay, you're 40 years old.
Yeah.
And I know earlier you was saying that you and Floyd was
Yeah.
talking about doing a rematch
again,
and
yeah.
fighting again. And Floyd is in his 40s.
Yeah, we was talking about doing it like more of like an exhibition.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at what point as a boxer
Yeah.
do you say, okay, like my
Time to
punch
tone it down.
isn't where it used to be?
I mean, it just depends, man. Like I say, I'm one of the real guys that I've been in the game, for like 20 years at the top level. You know what I'm saying? But I got a chance to really start feel like my body started declining at, 34, 35. I started having injuries, left and right. And I tore my bicep 3 times. I tore my subscap tendon in my shoulder. You know what I mean? I broke my thumb at there. So I started having all these surgeries and shit like that. So I say probably about 35. 32.
That's
30.
when it started.
Yeah, you
started
really
to see
start
it.
feeling it. You start.
You think it's about like
feeling
as an athlete, as a ball player, I started noticing things from the recovery.
Yeah.
The ankle injury.
Yeah.
Something that used to take 2 days, 3 days, it started taking 2 or 3
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the same.
Yeah,
when it
the
comes
same
to
thing with boxing. It's like, you can go into the gym and get in shape in 2 weeks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I used to, when I first turned pro, I go to the gym for 2 weeks and be in shape to go 12 rounds. You know what I mean? But now it's like you really got to go through a process. You really got to have a 8 to 10 week camp. And you really got to, after workouts, we used to, we go work out and we go play basketball and shit. After workouts now, I think I'm in the ice tub. I'm getting massages. I'm trying to make sure I'm back for tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So you really, really, really feel the difference after a few years, man. That shit's it's a different type of game, boy. That boxing shit's a different type of game.
You getting back out there?
Man, I think I'm good now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think.
What if Jake Paul come and say, I want to fight
I mean,
Berto?
for things like that, like it's different. Like if I'm doing an exhibition, maybe. I mean, them boys in Saudi Arabia, they've been calling me lately, so it might be something there. But I think, in a fighter's life, like my boy Andre Ward told me, he was just like, man, once you know, you know.
But what if Floyd Mayweather was to say, man, let's revisit that conversation or that situation?
Oh yeah, we can rock.
So you'll be ready to take that one on. You're getting the
Yeah, we can rock. When it gets to a point, man, when you go to, after a while, you're at the beginning of the fight game, man. It's all about just trying to be the best and get those belts. You
Right.
want those belts. I got plenty of belts, and after a while, after after that goal gets hit, and after you reach a certain age, it's about the money.
Oh,
Period.
so you go and collect
Get
some
the
money,
bag. Get the bag.
but still put on a good show.
Yeah, but still going there, handle your business. But the main focus of motivation is to, okay, cool. How much we getting paid for this? You know what I'm saying? Like before, it was just, I need a belt. I need a title shot. I need that belt. I need to be a world champion. But after a while, this is, okay, once you got that, okay, let's put on a great show. I might knock your ass out, but how much they paying? How much they paying, bro? You know what I'm saying? How much, you know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is on that side.
So with boxing, when you take like football, I find a lot of parallels in life.
Yeah.
You know, I find a lot of things that I can relate to, and I think anybody in this sport,
Oh,
they always
facts.
find things. What are some of the things that boxing has taught you that you can apply to life?
Man, everything, man. You know, I really believe boxing is very, very, very parallel just to life in general. Um, you know, just me and my businesses now it's you know, it's nothing too much different from just keeping just the consistency of just getting things done. You know, I get a lot of athletes that get at me now, you know, especially a lot of boxers. You know, they see me moving around, they see I got a lot going on, they see me handling a lot of businesses and, you know what I mean, getting money outside the ring. And, you know, they always ask, you know, how? I'm like, okay, listen, I had to figure it out too, but at the end of the day, it's about understanding the structure because it's still the same.
Right.
You know, how long have you been boxing? Oh man, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't know, 20 years since I've been da 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 da. Okay. Okay, you got a coach, right? Yeah. Okay, now he helped you with with your skills and help you get ready. He put a game plan together for you, right? Yeah, you know, we train every fight and then, you know, we talk about the game plan, we watch tape, and then we go out there and execute. I'm like, same shit.
Same thing.
Same shit.
So you're a mentor.
Anything that you want to do, it don't matter if you want to do real estate, if you want to do, you know, personal development coaching, if you want to fucking, damn, be a contractor. The best way and the fastest way to get to where you need to be, get you a coach, put in the reps, and then y'all game plan it out and you go execute. You ain't finna learn this shit overnight. Same thing like you ain't learn how to throw a jab overnight. Same thing you ain't learn how to, you know what I mean, run through the 2-hole overnight. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to put those reps in. You got to damn study the play. You got to study, you know what I mean, like fight film. Study that shit, put in the reps of it. You know what I mean? Like, put the game plan together and go execute. The shit ain't finna come overnight, but you got to put the time in. You got to put the time in. That shit, that's the prerequisite to success is hard work.
Definitely.
You have to, you can't skip over it. You know what I'm saying? Anything you want to do. And you know, like I said, it's kind of hard for athletes too because, you know what I mean, once they reach this type of point of success, they don't want to be a student again.
And
you know what I mean? You
have
have to be a student
again.
Field. It's a new field. You got to be a student again, bro. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like you were here at a certain point in this game, but nobody don't know you like that in this game. You know what I mean? It's a completely new game, my boy. So what you gonna do? You want to do it, or you just want them to continue saying, "Oh, you know what I mean, Andre Berto box, man, I understand it." Listen, I've been in these rooms, bro. I done got so uncomfortable at times at, you know, going to these masterminds and people taking pictures with me and da-da-da. I'm getting tired of talking about boxing.
Yeah, because
like,
you in there with a different purpose.
Yeah, I'm just like, bro, let's talk some business. Like, I'm more than the fight game. Like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? So you know, but like I said, it's just the fact of just understanding, you know, what you want to do, or you can even just maximize your brand that you already have. You know, if you're a boxer, if you this or if you that, you know, I'm just understanding how you can monetize it and really try to take it to another level. And I've been showing a lot of guys how to do that now too. You know what I mean? Like being able to put in say like boxing courses together, and you know, like just knowing just everything that they know and just trying to, you know, put it in the package and sell it, you know what I mean, diligently as well. So it's a lot of different ways you can do it.
So like, you know, when I look at boxers and I look at, you know, you only have so many fights a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do you, after a defeat,
Yeah,
how do you get yourself back, or how do you get your confidence? And that when people have setbacks, some people, they can't recover. And I always think of boxing, you know, you always talk about if you get knocked down, you got to get back up.
Yeah.
It's like when you go through those things right there, and this applies to life and the sport and business.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the mindset of a professional boxer?
Yeah.
And he's put in all this and he's the best
Yeah.
at his craft.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he takes a defeat.
Take a defeat.
Where do you get that fire from, and what it is that I mean, what's the mindset of a person that says, man, like, no, I got to go at this again, but dealing with that during that
yeah,
like,
I mean, you know,
during that period of time, like when I was playing ball, if we lose on Sunday, that whole week,
feeling crazy.
it's just you just can't function.
Yeah, out of it.
it's like it's like you just so eager to get back to it, and I'm just thinking back to like as a boxer, and you go months. Like how do you like? What's the process?
Man, I mean, I went through it. You know what I'm saying? I personally went through it after my first loss. You know what I'm saying? When I turned pro, coming out of the Olympics, and I was just on a tear. You know what I'm saying? I'm knocking everybody out. I'm the new hot kid on the block. You know what I'm saying? Winning prospect of the year. I mean, the only thing I kept hearing, like, it's going to be the next young boy to take Floyd out. I would go, like, I think 22-0. 20, I don't know, probably 25-0 and, like, I don't know, 18 knockouts. I'm on HBO. I'm just going crazy. And then, and still at that time, I wanted to always try to make it very evident to everybody that I was that guy. You know what I mean? So, like, in between fights, I'm going to all the events, all the parties, all the Super Bowls, wherever it is, just to try to make sure everybody, knew who I was. But when I went through my first loss, and this was the fight, I was supposed to fight Floyd years ago. So this is the fight right before I was supposed to fight Floyd. I'm young. I'm living out in Atlanta. I'm wilding. Didn't take the fight serious. I was upset that they even threw that fight in front of me. I didn't train like I was supposed to, and I lost. You know what I'm saying? I had my first loss.
Did you play back my training?
Oh man, that was actually the first fight I got nervous. Walking
before
to
the fight.
Before the fight, because
so
I already knew I didn't do what I was supposed to do, and I show up in that motherfucker and I see everybody, 50 Cent, Floyd, I'm like, what the fuck, everybody, what's going on? And, I see the dude across the ring, he just hopping around. I mean, he looked like he just fought a lion and ate it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, shit, all right, cool. I just, I know when the lights come on, I turn it on some type of way. But then again, I just knew I wasn't in the best shape. And,
so what? Go back to that part. Where were the trainers? Like your coach, your trainer?
They got comfortable too. I'm gonna say
so
that.
Everybody.
I'm gonna say that they got comfortable too because my coaches at the time, he came into the game, with me. So, well, not really with me. Like I was already, doing well in the amateur game. I think I was like 14, 15 years old when he really came to be a part of the team. But I was his first fighter.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So even for him to see that success was new for him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And we was both young. We was just having a good time. We from the little town, Winter Haven. We getting this money.
So he was from there too? You brought somebody back from back home?
Yeah. So, we getting all this money, getting all this notoriety. And he just like, man, shit, Bert, just, he was like the homie.
Yeah.
So just whenever I come to training camp, and I popped up, I think 4 or 5 weeks before the fight. And they just was like, all right, cool. I guess you just do your thing. Because they just knew that, okay, when it's fight time, you turn into this animal. So let's just do it.
Lights gonna turn on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, lights gonna turn on. But for that night, man, shit ain't go like I needed to go. But it was a crazy fight. You know what I'm saying? I knocked dude down twice. He knocked me down. It was a fight of... It was one of the fights of the decade. They say definitely one fight of the year. But after that, shit went crazy for me, man.
Hey, so I always be thinking, like, what's it like when a boxer get knocked down? Like, okay, you done got knocked down.
That was my first time getting knocked down. I didn't know what was going on. Yeah, I was like, what the hell? What I'm doing on the floor? I hopped back up for like, you know what I mean?
Do you have confidence after you done got knocked down?
Oh, I'm saying during.
I'm saying in the midst of the fight, you got knocked down.
I didn't even think. I just hopped right back up. I'm like, oh shit, what happened?
Man, this motherfucker knocked me down.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, nah, I got to get that back. Like during the heat of the moment, I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I got to get back to it.
All your sisters came back to
All my sisters came back. I had to get back to it. It was like a flash knockdown, what we call a flash knockdown. It's like, if I'm not, if it's a quick shot, I just fell down and popped back up. It was nothing that really hurt me. So I was just like, shit, I need to get that back. But, after the fight, man, it was a crazy feeling, man, because all of the same people that in the world in general that I wanted to get their attention to know who I was. Yeah, after that fight, I wanted to hide from everybody. You know what I'm
So like you
saying?
let everybody down.
Oh, I wanted to hide from
Did
everybody.
you, after that fight, did you say, hold up, man, let me cut ties with my trainers or?
That ended up happening, yeah.
See, I know a lot of times we always want to bring our partners, we want to bring people. So like right now, I've learned, you know, it's cool to bring family, friends along, but go get a pro, a professional, and that's what they do. Yeah, and let's work from that standpoint. And still keep the homies over here because it tears up the relationship.
Yeah, for sure. But that ended up happening, a little bit after that. But just going back to your question about just getting over, a loss, man, and I went through a situation in the period of being that kid that felt like I was just so invincible to me finally going through that loss and, in that same place where it felt like home to me, in that ring, man, I had to go through a lot mentally to build my confidence back. You know what I'm saying? To feel like, okay, now I can walk back to that same place where it was just literally a nightmare for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I went back home, man. I mean, it got to a point it was too noisy for me because everybody was talking. I get back home, it's on ESPN. What happened? It's in the newspaper. I hopped on a plane like 3 days later with my brother, my cousin. I flew to Bali just to get away from everything. I didn't want to hear nothing. And, I got back and I felt like I was ready to get back to it. But then, the mind games started playing with me. You know what I'm saying? Am I as strong as I always said I was? Am I still that guy? Am I still fast? Like, why did I get tired? Why this? Why that?
You played back, though.
Oh, man.
The training.
Oh, man. Just everything in my mind just messed with me. And just getting ready to get back out there in the ring. Before it was just extreme confidence and walking out there, just feeling like everybody that was there just to see me just shine to it almost felt like I was walking back to a fucking, to a nightmare.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a different type of mental game I was playing, but the only way that I tell people as well, because I seen it happen to plenty fighters too. Once they lost that confidence, it was a wrap. I tell people all the time. I used to say like Ronda Rousey. That was big on the MMA scene. A woman,
the female,
MMA
fighter, the girl, right?
Dominating. And you mainly see this happen with people that are extremely dominant in the game. Once they take their first loss, after that, like I said, their confidence gets zapped. You know what I mean? So same thing with her. She lost. And when she came back, like I was just watching, I seen her face. I'm like, I don't think she's ready for it. Because as soon as she hopped in there, the first punch she got hit with, automatically in her mind, it felt like I'm in this nightmare again. Jumped on the ass, knocked out again, and she was done. So, I tell people, man, the only way to come back from that is to keep showing up, bro. Like, you have to keep walking to that nightmare over and over and over. If I feel like I'm about to fucking walk and I feel like I'm getting ready for death row, you're going to be nervous, you're going to be scared, but keep on going. Keep showing up. That's the only way that, I'm saying, you're going to continue feeling familiar with it again.
Right.
And you're going to feel like, shit, like this fucking giant that I thought was too big for me, it ain't that big no more. Like, I know who I am. Shit, I walk in that motherfucking 1,000,000 times and knock niggas' heads off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Get that old feeling back.
Get that old feeling back. You got to keep showing up, man. Keep showing up. Too many people, they get scared of a situation. And I speak about giants all the time. Giants or dragons all the time, bro. Like, a lot of people feel like certain obstacles, they look like giants. They look like fucking dragons. They look like they're the biggest thing in the world. But keep on showing up. And sooner or later, once you defeat that first giant or you defeat that first dragon, that's going to always be evidence for you that you can conquer any type of situation.
Yeah, I think that applies to even in life,
That's what I'm saying.
You're talking about things that happen to you, not only sport, but things that's happening to you in life. You try to be successful. I see a lot of people try to enter the entrepreneur world and they get knocked down or they get in a situation where it don't work out.
Yeah.
And they give up. You know, And that's one thing that I always point out. Like, man, you have to keep going at it. You got to keep at it.
Got to, because at the end of the day, all you need is one.
All you need is one.
You need one win, bro.
One win.
You need one win. That's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to give you evidence to keep it moving.
Right. Switching gears, we like to talk about multiple subjects or topics, or one of the pillars of creative life. And one of the pillars that, that I find pretty interesting and that's near and dear to my heart, because it's financial freedom. I think everybody wants financial freedom.
Yes, sir.
But going through this journey, a lot of us is our first time.
Yeah.
So when it's your first time, and you always learning something. I learn something from every guest. I learn something from everybody I talk to, because every journey is different, but they have a lot of parallels. Right. And for yourself, going in the boxing world, with boxing, I don't know how it goes. Like in sports, we get a contract over so many years.
Yeah, I mean,
stuff different.
Yeah, I mean, with boxing is different to a sense. Like you gotta be that guy to get paid for real. You know what I'm saying? I was one of the fortunate ones that, I was ranked number 1 in the country as an amateur. I went to the Olympics in 2004 and turned pro. Ended up getting with HBO at the time, so they took care of me.
But who helped you make those decisions?
That's the thing, though. That's the thing. When I was getting ready to go to the Olympics, the thing with me was I was so nervous. I was scared because I understood where we came from, and I knew our circumstance where we came from, and I didn't want to fuck it up. So I knew I had the potential to go to the Olympics and turn pro and really make some things happen. So what I did was I really sat back. I watched the fight game. I seen a lot of fighters that I loved and liked, and I had a lot of fighters that was in my stable. And I wonder why everybody just either mismanaged their money or they just was broke. And I didn't really get what was going on until I really sat back and thought about it, even back then. And I understood that boxing didn't have a union. You know what I'm saying? They really just take a lot of kids that got great potential and just put them in the ring to fight and just give them a check. You know what I'm saying? No union at all, no regulations, no this and that. So what I did before I went to the Olympic Games, a good friend of mine, my boy, wasn't Tracy McGrady at the time.
T-Mac.
Yeah, my boy T-Mac, man. He in there. Yeah, Auburndale native, man. He the one that he went before me. He went to the NBA. He started killing shit. And, but we still spent time together because he seen where I was heading.
Right.
And for some reason, I used to see this guy walking with him all the time. And I found out that was his business manager.
Oh, okay. So
you know what I'm saying?
You learned from T-Mac.
You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I need to find out who that dude is. As soon as he told me who it was, like I say, I was just so nervous about trying to fuck the money up. I used to sit down with him all the time, constantly. His name was Gus.
Did you end up hiring him?
I ended up hiring him.
Okay.
I ended up hiring him before I went to the Olympics. And then he ended up being my business advisor, coming into the program. So he pretty much kind of set up my structure,
a lot of times people don't have structure. But
they ain't got no structure, especially in the fight game, because it's no union. Like I said, football, basketball, don't they give y'all agents and all that shit?
They have them. They have a list of agents. They kind of solicit the agents. They kind of make sure that you know who qualify, who's on the list.
Yeah.
But you have to ultimately make the decision.
Yeah,
who you decide to go with.
Yeah, but us ain't nothing like that. It's, you got a promoter manager. If you one of the lucky ones that any one of these promoters or managers want to rock with, good, but they ain't teach you about nothing about no financial, nothing. Just get ready for your fight, give you a check, and you figure it out.
They don't take no taxes out, no nothing? Or they do
when
all
it
that?
comes to...
It go from state to state, right?
When it comes state to state, each state is different. And like I said, it's no union, so it's no real regulation. So some of these managers can take up to 33 1/3%.
Out of y'all check?
Of the purse. You know what I'm saying? so it's no regulation. So it all depends on.
So that's why everybody go to the management side. You see like the big time boxers they go to.
Yeah, a lot of them do. A lot of them do because like I say, it's no real regulation.
Still to date. Still, like right now,
Still now today. But that's the way they want it, though. Like, we talked about having a union in boxing for years, but like the powers that be, they don't want it. They don't want it just
so
because.
So you get 33% of your check.
They could get up to 33 and a third.
But you can negotiate that.
You can negotiate it. So
for you coming from, so you got this, the good thing you had somebody like T-Mac that
Yeah.
you grew up in the same area.
Yeah.
And you see what he has, and you got somebody that can actually, that you can lean on.
Yeah.
And it's always good to have somebody lean on. And that's where this whole Create Life podcast, you know, it's kind of the basis of being a source of information.
Yeah.
Built in examples, not just talking about it, somebody that's actually lived it,
Yeah.
where you can actually point people in the right direction.
Facts.
Because everybody have different views, different visions.
Everybody got different
but ultimately,
situations.
you need to have somebody that's going to help you.
Yeah, man.
So when you got this financial person,
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a difference in the NBA and the boxing,
Yeah.
you know, financials, because in the NFL, if you're a top pick or
Yeah.
you one of the higher paid, you know,
Yeah.
you're in a different bracket.
Facts.
You know, so you get certain people going to deal with you.
Yeah.
But if you're one of the guys that not really making as much money, you're not going to have the people that's willing to spend that time with you.
Nah, he spent that time with me, man. They knew what I was. They knew I was. I'm saying where I was heading. I mean, I ended up signing a, very lucrative deal with HBO. And at the same time, that made it a little bit more exciting. I ended up doing a co-promotion deal with Dame Dash and Jay-Z at the time. I was the first fighter to do that. So I brought a lot to the table when it came to the networks. So my first couple of fights, they seeing all these celebrities come and watch me fight because I had the co-promotion, what's name, team with Rockefeller as well. Okay. So we was able to put that together. And at the same time, I just knew I was a dog. I knew that, the promoter that I ended up signing with, I was better than anybody just on his roster at the time. And he had a great relationship with HBO. And I knew that, as soon as I got on, if all I had to do is go in and just knock everybody out and everything was gonna come. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much how all of it just, everything kind of just snowballed, man, real quick, from just the attention that I got, the celebrities I was around, the shows I was putting on, and everything just was just happening so fast, man. But but then on the backside, I had a financial guy. I was making sure everything was straight. But I was taking time out too to really study and work on that shit.
That's where I was going. Like, so did you, like, for you, because in our talks we always talk about financial freedom. We always talk about doing other things beyond the sport. And for you, you got your head on right. You're doing things. You're making moves. So you have to have somebody. And when you see the young, what's some advice you would give to a younger person that's coming into
the game,
financials?
Man, don't just give all your money and your whole situation to a business manager. Very much try to learn the game. Try to sit down.
So they're not willing to teach you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like back then, like when I ended up signing, it's not like how it is now. Like now y'all got so much information.
Right.
Now, I mean, on YouTube, like on a lot of different things. Like even, you guys can do stocks. You can do whatever you want to do at this point. But I think even if you get a business manager, learn the game to understand how to file your taxes or how that shit works, knowing how to pay your bills, because I see a lot of guys get raped when they always tell you the same thing. All right, listen, you just focus on playing the game. We're going to focus on the money. And they give their whole power of attorney to a lot of these, business managers. And, these guys rape them. But, and it's a crazy story. It's a crazy situation because if you're an athlete, you got to focus on the game. And that's one thing I don't like about the parallel about it, is the point that they get mad at athletes when these business managers, they take advantage of them. But if you think about it, I mean, if you focused on the game and you're hiring a professional,
to take care of
you're
that.
hiring a professional to take care of your shit. you know, like you expect that to happen, but the athlete always gets a lot of the heat. You know what I'm saying? The shit
Right.
just goes the other way. So I just always say, man, just make sure you know what you got going on. Make sure to study it, even though if you hand it off, know what's going on. Them
Right.
have those weekly meetings. Understand these numbers. Understand where everything is going. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Have to.
So with throughout your tenure, you know, were there any mistakes that you made,
Oh
or
yeah.
mistakes that you say, okay,
Oh
look,
yeah.
man,
For
I could have
sure.
prevented this
Oh for sure.
from if I would
Oh
have
for
knew this.
sure.
So financially, what are some of the
Oh
mistakes?
for sure. I mean at the beginning, of course, just getting all the money and uh, living in Atlanta at the time. Shit, I was blowing money on a regular. I was blowing money on the regular, all the women, all the strip clubs, the cars. Yeah, I didn't go too crazy though, because like I said, I was always nervous. My thing was when I used to get fight checks, to be honest, I used to get fight checks. I used to give it to my business manager, but then again, I would just always put enough in there to max out my 401k. Always make sure my mama them had some money. And always made sure that, the savings, the 401k, everything else was filled. And then, okay, the rest is
The
for
rest for
me.
me.
The rest for me. So that was like, you know what I'm saying? So in my mind, I always feel like, okay, I was doing the right thing first. And then I go and, act up a little bit. But like I say, just being in business, man, you're going to make some mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I had certain deals that go sour, of course. Me and that business manager got into a situation as well. I had to switch him up. Tracy got rid of him too.
So a business manager knowing you're a boxer, they don't be worried about like, man, he might come try to dummy me up.
You know what, man? That's a whole different type of game, bro. You know what I'm saying?
But it's still talking about your hard-earned money.
Yeah,
like,
but it's different, man. I've had situations, bro. I've had guys with suits on, damn near feel like they got a gun to me, robbing me. And I can't do nothing to them. I can't put my hands on them because that's where we from, but they don't play that type of game. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different type of robbery. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, of course, man, just being in business, just being in anything that you're going to be making a lot of money in, man, you just got to try to stay conscious. But, just everything ain't going to go gravy. You know what I'm saying?
Right, so now that, okay, you learn business and you're an entrepreneur
Yeah.
now. So what are some of the things that you got going on right now?
Man, a lot of things, man. Of course, I've been investing in real estate for some years now, man. Just got a shitload of, multifamily properties. Getting heavy into the digital space.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Getting heavy into the digital space now, just basically, meaning that you're just pretty much just packaging a lot of your expertise, and then you're able to sell it, online, when it comes to a lot of different leads that you bring in. Just, of course, just knowing how to market, hiring a great marketing team knows how to market in a lot of different ways, and that's just been killing it. You know what I mean? It's a completely different game, on the digital side when you really can market to an unlimited amount of people.
You got the whole world.
You got the whole world to go into. You know what I'm
need
saying?
some interest.
Anything that you selling, if it's a physical product or a digital product, being able to package it and either to run ads or to be able to like to organically speak about it, and you got people, in London, England, China, Africa buying it up.
Everybody.
That's a completely different game. Yeah. So that's been killing it for me.
No, that's what's up, man. And one thing I like to know, like if you had to have a quote that before your fights or something that kind of drove you, what's one powerful quote that got you through?
Sure. Oh, no, let me see. God. So many, bro. Powerful quote. Shit, I don't know, bro.
Can't think of one right now.
Yeah, man. It's
so many.
It's just, just fight time, man. It's just go time for me. You know what I mean? Really no quotes, needed. You know what I'm saying? I just think about my upbringing, think about my kids now, think about just a lot of different levels of life that I've been able to do and being able to accomplish, and knowing that I got kids now, that I just got to keep that shit going. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not for me anymore now. You know what I'm saying?
It's a bigger purpose.
It's a bigger purpose now. You know
Would you
what I'm
let your
saying?
kids box?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And the crazy thing about it is, like, why I say that is, I see a lot of, fighters that have, really made it to the top, like De La Hoya, Floyd. I see all these other guys. All of them say the same thing. They won't let their kid box. But all of the fathers that wanted to make it that didn't,
Yeah.
all of them living their dreams through their kids trying to make them fight. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's crazy.
That's pretty interesting. The ones that
crazy.
didn't make it, they pushed their kids through.
Man,
so
they
it's like
trying
an
to push
extension of themselves.
Of course. And I think with a lot of us that done fall on that top level,
You think it got something to do with you knowing all the stuff you went through?
Yeah.
You start saying, man, like this not really what's up.
I mean, it's grueling, man. It's grueling and it gets lonely. It gets lonely, at the top, when it comes down to it, and it's just a brutal game. You know what I'm saying? When people know you, when people know your name, and they're watching everything that you do, a lot of high expectation going in there. Over time, things may not work the same. Or even if you have a bad performance, you're gonna get a lot of criticism. It's a lot of emotional battles. It's a lot of emotional battles and physical battles that you have to continue to try to hold up a certain standard at a certain point of your career.
You ever be where somebody be like, man, Berto, man, I bet my life savings on you in the boxing. You got to deal with that.
Oh, all that shit, all the time.
I think athletes have to deal with it more now because everything is legal.
Everything. All the time. So you just got to deal with it a lot. And like I said, when it comes to parents that didn't make it, they don't know how that shit feels. They don't know how that shit feels to be competing at that top level and just fucking training day in and day out and just having those high expectations on your back on a regular basis. And if you lose or if you don't show up like you need to, getting criticized, not just by family, by everybody, by the whole world. By the fucking whole world. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Go home, see it on ESPN type shit. It's different, man.
And that's what I wanted to talk about. That's what I was saying, man. Like, y'all got to wait months before you get some get back.
Yeah.
Like a basketball player, it's tomorrow they can play.
Yeah.
A football player is a week.
You got to deal with it, man. You got to sit in that shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, you got to sit in it. And I think that's one thing that I realized, when I was at the beginning of my career, I'm like, damn, like, I only got 3 or 4 times to really do this shit per year. So I got to make sure this shit counts.
It's got to count.
But if you lose, you got to deal with that shit for some months. You know what I mean? Sit at home.
Yeah, man. So that's what's up, man. We got my boy Berto.
Yes,
man,
sir.
I appreciate you coming on Creative Life, man.
Appreciate you having me.
This right here been good conversation, educational, especially for myself.
For sure.
I learned a lot, and I'm quite sure everybody that's watching learned a lot. Definitely. In the future, you already know we want to have you come on because we're going to be doing all kind of business moves.
Oh, yeah,
I see you
for
making moves. So away from this, we already collab and kind of iron sharpens iron type of situation.
Definitely.
Appreciate you.
Man, appreciate you.
Until next time, brother.
Yes, sir.